for a 3-hour movie, you know, it's pretty hard to do a full-on review and not say a single thing about a movie that I can't really talk about. And it's a 3-hour movie, and it shows nothing. This is going to be such a hard review to talk about. Avengers Endgame. Directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, the guys who did Civil War, The Winter Soldier, and last year's Avengers Infinity War, are back to do the last Avengers for certain characters and all that kind of stuff. It's the last one for a bunch of reasons. Story arcs. This is it. This is the series finale to pretty much the first half or chapter, I don't even know, to the MCU, and we are here. One of the most anticipated films of all time. The movie, it's 3 hours long, and I'm going to give you the synopsis the trailers give you and what you assume. So, minor spoiler for Infinity War, if you've never seen Avengers Infinity War, after the snap, after Thanos has killed 50% of humanity, creatures across Earth, across the galaxy, the Avengers are pretty much depressed. They're down their luck. They lost. They know this. They lost. And then they're like, you know what? We're the Avengers. We gotta do something. And that's all I can really tell you, because that's what the trailers tell you. That's what the storyline you know is. And it's called Avengers Endgame, and you've seen the poster, you've seen the teasers, you know Captain Marvel's in it because we just got her movie 2 months ago. There's so much to talk about, and let's just get right into it, guys. Oh my god! What? This is the definition of a superhero movie, comic book, put on the screen in a big blockbuster summer superhero cast. It is everything you want if you're an MCU fan. And me personally, after watching it, I will say this. If you are an MCU fan, a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan, you've watched all 22 movies, you are invested in these characters, the villains, the story arcs, all this kind of stuff, you're going to love this movie. This movie is such a series finale, closure to certain, just everything. I mean, it is a closure to everything you can imagine. Like, there are certain dialogue said in this movie that is said in previous movies that's like, that's a reference to that movie. That's a little closure, a little tie of a knot for that character, closure, moment, shot. I mean, there is so many things. And my god, if the ending just doesn't stick, then I don't know what to say, but guess what? The ending sticked. And the acting all around is great. Just Chris Hemsworth as Thor, one of my favorites in this movie, in all the Marvel Universe. He is just fantastic in this role. I love him so much, and I don't want to say anything, but just watch it. He is great. Nebula, so great in this movie. Jeremy Renner, who plays Hawkeye, the most developed he's ever been, and he is a badass in this movie. Robert Downey Jr., I mean, he's Tony Stark. He's the face of the MCU. He's the reason we started this whole franchise, him in that cave, and he is amazing in this. Chris Evans as Captain America, I mean, the most American badass ever. Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, amazing. Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner / the Hulk. The performances are out of the roof amazing. And of course, Thanos himself, Josh Brolin. And I will say this is not a spoiler, this is just me talking about it. Infinity War was a Thanos movie. It could have been called Thanos Infinity War. I mean, if you watch Infinity War, that is a Thanos movie. This movie is 100% an Avengers movie. That's all I'm going to say. It is an Avengers movie. It is not a Thanos movie. In my opinion, after watching it, it definitely felt like an Avengers movie. And the movie is 3 hours long. The first hour, I would say, is a lot slow. It's a lot slower than the other 2 hours. But it was great character development and building and the world around them. I mean, people are dead, their friends are gone. I mean, it is depressing. And the movie starts off right away, and then it slows down a little bit, and then you gotta develop and get used to everything. And then I was like, this is depressing, but you needed this. The second hour, I can't talk about at all. I'm just gonna say I loved it. I loved how it was directed, and I loved how just the story itself and just certain callbacks and just a bunch of things. the third hour, the final act, I can't put into words of how beautiful and epic it is. I just can't tell you. Goosebumps ran up my arm. When you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is the scene. It is just epic. That's all I can say. And the movie is just a great ending. It's a great closure. I cried. I teared up. I got intense. I was like, that is amazing. I was like, that's a callback that they did this in this movie, and that is amazing. And it just wraps everything up perfectly. Just perfectly. And again, the CGI is, it's bonkers. There are some things in this movie that I want to talk about that are just, you're like, how is that CGI? But it is, and it's amazing. But just the movie, again, there's so much I want to talk about, but I just can't. All I can say is, if you are an MCU fan, it is the most perfect ending, closure. You're gonna cry, the movie is also funny. Let me get that out of the way. This movie is very funny, and the soundtrack is amazing. I didn't expect that, really, because the movie was gonna be a lot darker than Infinity War. But dang, this movie was very funny, and very, the music was great, again. It was a really funny movie. I did not expect that. And the action is it's epic. This movie is just it's an epic conclusion to a 22 film saga. And I will say this, if you are going to this movie wanting to see Captain Marvel, because you know Captain Marvel just came out, obviously she's a pivotal role into this movie, as we assumed from the Captain Marvel movie, the poster, just her in this movie, she's been a big advertisement for this movie. I would not go in this movie saying, I can't wait to see Captain Marvel. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Don't go in there expecting Captain Marvel 2.0. That's all I'm going to say. I loved what they did, everything they did with her, loved it. But it definitely wasn't, I wouldn't have put her on the poster. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. The epic conclusion is seriously just a masterpiece in my opinion, and I'm going to give it an A+. I don't know what kind of grade to give it. It's just, as an MCU fan, it's everything I wanted and I didn't expect and I loved and I just enjoyed. I really think a lot of people are going to love this movie. It's going to be talked about, it's going to be raved. It is seriously just, it's a perfect ending to a 22 film saga. It really is. And me personally, I recommend watching all of them before seeing this movie. And I did that this past few weeks, and to me, it helped a ton. Like a ton. Watching every movie, it felt so contained. It felt so like all came together for this one movie. And it's just amazing. But now the question is, where the fuck do they go from here? And that is for the next time we see a Marvel movie, which will be Spider-Man Far From Home, which hopefully we'll see something or explain some things. But right now, I will say this. This movie is amazing. Go and see it this weekend. Even though it's 3 hours long, it doesn't feel like 3 hours long. It's just a movie you gotta see. It's gonna be the biggest movie of all time. And it's well deserved. And I cannot recommend it enough, especially if you're an MCU fan. And I have enjoyed the 11 years, and I can't wait to see what comes in the future for Marvel. I can't wait to see what they do. This movie is just freaking great. I loved it. I can't wait to see it again. But I can't wait. I really don't want to work at the movie theater this weekend. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this review, and I hope you guys comment, subscribe, and tell me what you thought of the movie. Please. I want to know. Please. Hope you guys enjoy the review. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.